Female Nation survey results for 2013 have been announced, and in studio with me is Rebecca Davis, astronaut supermodel and also a writer for the Daily Maverick. Rebecca.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. So in 2009, when we last did the survey, it came out that 49% of women are both the main caregivers and the main breadwinners of families. This year, the number has gone up, worryingly. Now, 61% of women surveyed are the main caregivers and the main breadwinners. So they are bringing home the bacon and looking after the children. Where are the men?
That is a heck of a lot. Now, do we assume that this includes a fair whack of single mothers?
Yes.
Right.
Definitely.
So this is not the case that these are necessarily
married women.
Yes.
No. And when for married women the stats are lower.
Okay.
Although the breadwinning stats are lower, they might not necessarily be the main breadwinners, but they are still the main caregivers.
Right.
In fact, only 4% of women surveyed said that their partners do more childcare than they do.
I noticed that. I was struck by
4%.
that. It's very, very low. I mean, I think South Africa is a very conservative country still in terms of these very traditional and entrenched gender roles, so I suppose it's not surprising. But even so, 4% struck me as a lot lower than I would have thought.
I know. I mean, I would never have guessed. Sure, people are struggling. There are single mothers. There are a lot of women who are getting abused, and but 4%.
4% is.
I mean, would you put up with that? I wouldn't put up with that.
I'm not sure I would. But to get back to your point about breadwinners and carers, I suppose we got a bit of foreshadowing of that in the government's green paper on the family, which was released earlier this year, which really laid out in stark relief just how many children in this country are growing up without fathers. I mean, it is the majority of children are fatherless. And again, you're absolutely right. Where are the men? What is happening there?
Do you think that the fact that these kids are growing up without fathers, do you think that has an impact on the gender violence that we see?
It's a tough one, Lily, because, I mean, one doesn't want to get into these sort of terribly, terribly kind of traditional notions of what fathers
boy needs a father
bring
to grow up and all
yes,
that. Yeah,
absolutely.
No.
I mean, I believe that most research shows, however much we might want to discount this, that some of the stablest family units are a mother and a father with kids, even though, as we've seen in South Africa, that is absolutely not the norm. That traditional nuclear family is not a South African thing. It just isn't happening. Gender violence and fathering, I'm sure there is research out there on that. I mean, I would like to think that, for instance, two mothers bringing up, two women
or
rather, two women or two men bringing up a
would be the
child.
same. I think the idea is the cohesion rather than
that's right. I think
the mother or the father role.
And the stability and security.
Stability, security, enough money.
Enough money as well. I don't think anyone would dispute that a single parent can bring up a family very successfully on their own, although it obviously takes a hang of a lot of work.
Yeah, I know. Hats off.
Hats off.